Do you have enough light in your life? Are you soaring in the joy around you? Are you stuck and unable to make life happen? Stay tuned for the Rabbi Jenny Show, where you will learn how to bask in the light and find more joy and meaning in life. Call to talk to Rabbi Jenny at 888-565-1470 and email questions and comments at rabbijenny.com. And now, if you're ready, stay tuned for the Rabbi who will light your world on fire, Rabbi Jenny.
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome to the Rabbi Jenny Show. I'm so excited that you're here. I've waited all week to talk to you and be with you. And now that I am, I can be very, 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 very happy and relieved. Our topic for today is the power of choice. But I want to remind you of a couple of things. I want to remind you to go to rabbijenny.tv to watch the show anytime and fill out a contact form and email me, get in touch with me. You can also like my Rabbi Jenny page on Facebook and go on the Twitter and the Instagram. I am on both of those beautiful things. Also, I want to say a big thank you. We have a new sponsor tonight. I want to make an official announcement. We have Bliss Recovery is a major sponsor of the Rabbi Jenny Show, and I do happen to work there sometimes as a counselor. And it's a wonderful place to heal from addiction. And here we go. We're going to talk about the two main ideas before we get into our topic, the power of choice. Our two main ideas for the Rabbi Jenny Show are this, that the world is happening for you and not to you, my friends. And I actually heard a friend of mine quote that in a public place, and it made me so happy because it is absolutely the truth, that the world is happening for you and not to you, but actually you have to choose to see it that way, which is what we're going to talk to tonight. And the second main idea is that you are divine love, light, energy, and you are always expanding. And you are always expanding because the world is happening for you. We are all a piece of the same light that you are a piece of, and we are hoping that you expand so we can all get a little brighter. So our topic today is the power of choice, and it was actually inspired by Torah, as it always is. We are getting towards the end of the book. It's almost Rosh Hashanah. It's almost the New Year's. We're almost getting ready to start over in the scripture. And this week we are in the portion, I'm stuttering, the portion is about choice, I believe, because it begins with God saying to Moses, I set before you a blessing or a curse. And then it goes on and on and on and on to talk about the blessing or the curse, the blessing or the curse. And I think that we're so used to maybe looking at this idea in maybe too much of a simple way, because it's really about choosing to look at life through spiritual eyes or look at life through the material. Because the portion goes on to talk about, it'll be a blessing if you honor me, Adonai, the God of the Torah, or it will be a curse if you choose to honor idols. And I always look at idols and as like a physical thing, the physical, the material. And when we look about choosing whether to honor the material or choosing to honor the spiritual, we're actually choosing between two things. Honoring the spiritual is honoring possibility. Honoring, anything can happen. If you honor just the physical, you place limitations on what can happen. So those are the choices that we make. We make choices of love or fear. We make choices of hope or hate. And through our choices, we limit ourselves. And we make a lot of choices. And it is the single most power that you have, my friends. Because if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Quoting the great Neil Peart from the rock band Rush, but it is true. If you do not choose what happens next in your life, I guarantee you someone else will. If you do not write your story, you will simply write the story as it was written for you by the people who lived the story before you. So this show is really about empowerment, folks. This is about giving you kind of like a wake-up call to how many choices that you make throughout the day, and slowing down and understanding that you actually have this power to create. I think Oprah Winfrey has an amazing quote. She says, understand that the right to choose your own path is a sacred privilege. Use it and dwell in possibility. That is absolutely amazing. I was thinking about this morning because I knew I was coming in here, and I've read tons of articles, if you were sitting here, about choice and decisions. And, we really make a lot of choices. You get up, the first thing you do when you get up in the morning, if you're me, is what kind of mood am I in? And then if I'm in a good mood, then that's easy because I don't have to choose to feel good. I can just move on. But if I wake up maybe feeling a little ache and pain and not being able to get out so easy, or I'm still reminiscing about the things from yesterday or things that aren't going my way, then I actually have to choose to be happy. I actually have to choose to be positive. And to be quite honest with you listeners, I had to do that this morning. And how I chose to do that involved a whole bunch of other decisions because I had to decide to pray. I had to decide to eat something that fed me in a healthy way. I had to decide, I actually played my drum around my house. I swear to God I did. I played a drum around the house just to try to wake up that energy inside me that is getting so stuck today. And I do not like it when it feels stuck. So we make, I've read a million articles online. I've done so much research for you. You're going to love this. So here's the thing. We make so many decisions. There's actually conflicts. Some people say we make 70 decisions a day. And then you can read up to certain articles that say we make up to 25,000 decisions a day. So I think they're talking maybe about active or passive decisions. We make decisions on our actions. We make choices on our thoughts, on our feelings, on the way we see the world. These are all little teeny choices that we make. What's interesting about the number of choices that we make is that we're actually making more and more and more and more choices. And psychologists have actually done a lot of research that there's something in our culture called decision fatigue. And people are actually making bad choices simply from overstimulation from sources outside of themselves. And I got to tell you this article that I found in the New York Times Magazine. I absolutely love this article, and it's a true story. So I'm going to kind of read it to you. So sit back. If you're in your car, we'll get to rapping later. And this is called Do You Suffer from Decision Fatigue? And it's from New York Times. And the story's this. 3 men doing time in Israeli prisons recently appeared before a parole board consisting of a judge, a criminologist, and a social worker. The 3 prisoners had completed at least 2/3 of their sentences, but the parole board only granted freedom to one of them. Guess which one? Case 1 was heard at 8:50 a.m., an Arab Israeli serving a 30-month sentence for fraud. Case 2, heard at 3:10 p.m., a Jewish Israeli serving a 16th-month sentence for assault. Now, Case 3, heard at 4:25 p.m., was an Arab Israeli serving a 30-month sentence for fraud. Guess what? They only freed the first one. And it was simply a matter of timing. The judge analyzed over 100 decisions between them and was tired. And they're proving this, and they're proving a connection between making too many decisions. They're also there's a connection to being hungry, your sugar level, and we blame we're really hard on ourselves. I gotta tell you, I'm not bringing this up for you to be hard on yourself. I'm actually bringing this up because I want you to love yourself a little bit more, and I want you to be a little bit easier on yourself. So I want you to think about easy, make your choices easier, because the truth is that we're hard on ourselves in our culture. We're constantly hearing how we're obese. We're constantly hearing we workaholics, that we do too much in this culture. Well, you know what? Okay, acceptance. That's the way we live. But somehow we have to back up from this decision fatigue, because it's a lot easier to pull into the drive-thru at Burger King when you're exhausted and you don't really want to think about what you're going to give your kids for dinner. And if you're a mom like me, you get it. You know that it's a fatigue, and it's not because you don't want to make that right choice or that right decision. It's because something between the time you woke up and that moment when you drive through the drive-thru was just a little bit too much. It was the tipping point, because people say use your willpower. Well, guess what? We're busy people, so this is about self-love. There is an article that actually gives hints about what you can do to make your choices smoother and make it easier. And most of those things are slowing down. You want to breathe, you want to eat, and you don't want to make too many serious decisions later in the day. So here is something I learned from a friend of mine. Somebody asks you if you want to do something, want to schedule something, anything. This is what you say, my friends. This is your big choice that you can say. Let me check my schedule. Let me take some time to think about it. Let me get back to you after I've rested a bit. These are different choices you make. And you know what you're doing in the meantime is you are loving yourself. Choice is an amazing power. How many of us are actually, I'm just going to speak for myself. I mean, how many of us are living the consequences of allowing others to make choices for us? I was thinking this morning that we can make choices that are good for us, but we make them out of fear of other people's opinion. One example of that is I went through a time in my own life where I was a little bit irresponsible with money. And this has not been just one time. It's a lot of times. Okay. But this particular time, I actually joined my life with a male person who I got more responsible with. But unfortunately, I made financial decisions not to teach myself how to budget and how to be a better person. I made those decisions to not get the shame from the male person I was living with. So they were made out of fear. They were made out of judgment. They were made out of the wrong motive. So I never really learned. I was always reacting. There was no true action, no true, genuine choice. We can choose from what we think everyone else will want us to do, or we can actually choose what we want to do from inside our heart. And Robert Frost has that wonderful poem, I took the road less traveled, and it made all the difference in the world. Every single thing I have had to do, that I have chosen outside of the box has taken my life in a direction that is unbelievable. George Bernard Shaw says, hell is to drift, heaven is to steer. Once you get this, listeners, once you understand that you get to choose how you see your life. And you're probably saying, Jenny, I have so much responsibility. I have so many things in my life. I have so much I have to do. You don't understand. Well, guess what? I really do. 100% understand, and I'm completely, absolutely on your side. What I'm telling you is you are way more powerful and way more important than you even know you are, because you know the truth. It's a blessing. I think it was Eli Wiesel, because we're going to talk a little bit about the Holocaust when we come back and choices of perspective. But Elie Wiesel said, he wrote Night, and he was a survivor of the Holocaust. He said, if the only prayer you say is thank you, that would be enough. And bracha, or a blessing, is basically saying thank you for whatever you are blessing. And the point is that if you choose to see your life as a blessing, then you've changed everything. And so whatever struggle, whatever limitation, whatever darkness, whatever joyous event you're having, choose it as a blessing. I heard the most brilliant person speaking, and they were saying, it's not just the good thing, it's not just the bad things that pass. The good things pass too. So if we don't bless it, if we don't look at it, if we don't choose to hold on to it when it's so beautiful, we've let it pass by. And we have that power. We actually have that power. I have so many amazing quotes here about choice. Choice may be our most precious gift, by Debbie Ford. And I thought, it really is an amazing thing. Carlos Castaneda, who's one of my favorite authors, says we either make ourselves happy or miserable. The amount of work is the same. So you get to choose. So if you try to say, I'm doing what my mom told me to do, or I'm doing what my dad told me to do, or I have to do this because of this, or I have no other way. That's a lot of work, as opposed to, maybe looking for something different. I actually experienced this a lot, and we're going to get ready to go to break, but I experienced this a lot with technology. I have been terrified of technology. And I have broken through that recently, and I've realized that it's actually taken more work for me to fear technology. Yeah, it did? Okay. It took more fear for me to, it took more fear. I don't know. We're having some technical. Okay, they're cutting me off. Okay, we're going to talk about the internet and choice and all sorts of cool things. It's Rabbi Jenny. Come back.
Are you or someone you love suffering from a substance abuse problem? Have you tried many different ways to heal and rebuild your life and are finally ready for a solution? At Bliss Recovery, there is a solution. At Bliss Recovery, one examines foundational issues and is guided by talented, qualified professionals to rebuild one's life. Learning coping skills in a supportive environment, clients of Bliss Recovery rebuild their life with increased self-esteem, awareness, and purpose. At Bliss Recovery, one is awakened to joy and connection to the world. Bliss Recovery, building lives, spirit, and soul. Find the solution to your substance abuse problem and contact Bliss Recovery now at 844-84-BLISS or go to blisstreatment.com. Bliss Recovery, building lives, spirit, and soul.
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here with me. We're talking about the power of choice. There's a couple things I want to talk to you before introducing our bad Mama Jamma, our amazing guest who's going to talk to me. Woo! I want to talk to you about the difference between fate and destiny, which is something that we talked about in the last few shows. And the difference between fate and destiny is fate is actually something that you just allow happen to you, and destiny is something that you choose. And it's just basically about conscious choice and unconscious choice. Destiny is not, and William Jennings Bryant said, destiny is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. It is not something to be waited for, but rather something to be achieved. If someone throws you the ball, you don't have to catch it. That's Richard Carlson. There's so many amazing choices. But I want to talk to you about some inspiration from the Holocaust, because you're like, oh, inspiration from the Holocaust. But seriously, about choice, because there's been many accounts from Nazi prisoners who endured torture that none of us can even imagine. Watching people they loved, watching their homes, watching everything be dismantled and destroyed and disintegrated right before their very eyes. And the accounts of people who simply made choices to see things differently is amazing. I mean, Elie Wiesel is one of them. Viktor Frankl speaks of this a lot. And it's just amazing to me. There's one account of a man that said he simply realized that the one thing that the captors couldn't take away from him was his power to choose. And once he realized that that was, they couldn't make him see things differently. They couldn't make you see things differently. Like if you have a dream, if you have something that's calling you from your heart, don't let anyone and anything make you choose differently. Continue to choose in the direction of your destiny. Continue to make those difficult choices. Continue. It may require you walk alone, which is something our guest and I were talking about before. It may require that, but you know what? The road less traveled, nobody has marked that path yet. Nobody has tracked it. Nobody's put it on a map yet. You're the one to do it. So we're going to introduce our Bad Mama Jamma segment.
Rabbi Jenny.
Yes. You have to get pretty close to it.
Okay, I like that.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny and our Bad Mama Jamma. Today is the Reverend Nancy Kennedy. She is a very, very dear friend of mine. She is an intuitive. She is a force of love and light that is uncomparable. She's a gift in my life. Like that just walked in, brought me my teacher. We've just been connected ever since.
Yeah. Yes. You're an awesome soul also,
So tell us about you, Nancy, first before we talk about choice.
Okay, I am a reverend. I was ordained first by Rabbi Gelberman, as Jenny was. He was an awesome inspiration. And what I learned from him was the wisdom of the soul. Mm-hmm. He taught about different religions. He taught me about different religions, but I learned from him that whatever you think you are is what you achieve. Whoever you are, be that person. That's a choice, right? And that's what I learned from him. I am also an ADL, Alliance of Divine Love minister, and I'm working on my doctorate. And I am a reflexologist. I am whatever you want to call me. I am love. I'm about love. I'm about helping people get to their next step and living their lives through the choices that they make. Not what other people tell you, but what they want to do. That's what I believe in. And that's what I try to teach everyone I come in contact with, starting with children. Because when children learn how to make choices, they make the right choices. And those are the choices that will lead them down the path that was set up for them.
Right.
Not by what the mama said, the daddy said, and whatever. So that's who I am, basically. You understand?
So tell us about a time in your life where you had to make a choice that was not necessarily, what other
Right
people
for
would
me.
do. No,
Wow.
the other way around. When did you break free? When did you start to consciously choose?
Okay, I am a twin.
Okay.
And at the age of 17, my sister and I had to make a choice to go to a school. So it was always what she wanted, where she wanted to go, how she wanted. She had the money to get on the bus and the train. I never did. So it was time for us to go to school. And I decided I am not a twin. I am an individual. Know who I am, because when you're a twin, who are you? You don't feel as well. I didn't feel as if I had a personality. It was always who's this one, who's that one. Nobody knew who we were. So
are you identical?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So I decided that I was not going to the same school she did.
Wow.
And my parents gave us all the papers to fill out. I didn't fill them out. So when it was time to go to school, guess what? Nancy, you didn't get a letter? No, I didn't. Why not? I didn't send it in.
Wow.
They were very upset.
What grade was this?
I was going to college.
Oh, it was for college.
we were
Okay.
not
But I just
separated.
want to point out to the listeners how hard this is. So you were already like 17, 18 years old
Yes,
before
and we were always
yes.
together. Always together. And it
Okay.
was her choices, not mine.
Okay. And why do we do that, you think? Why do we just what makes us passive versus was there something about your sister? Did you want her approval?
No,
Did
my
you
mother, it was my parents.
Oh, okay.
When we were born, there weren't that many twins being born or triplets being born. There weren't that many. So
Right.
we were oddities.
Ah,
you know what I mean?
okay.
So
But why did she lead is my point. Why was
she
it
thought I had filled out the papers. I was going where she was going. You understand?
So it was your attitude towards the whole thing up until that point.
I'm not a twin anymore.
Okay.
I'm not doing this. I have to be my own body. I have to be my own self.
Now again, let's go to the opposite side of it. Take me to a time where you actually chose later, past your childhood, where you actually, as an adult woman, made choices for other people and found yourself in pain, and eventually
For other people?
Yeah. When did you make choices, that you didn't necessarily want to choose?
Just about all my life.
Okay. See, this is it. This is it, listeners. We're here to remind you that you have the power of choice.
Change.
You have the power. You
Yes.
really. The scripture says, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and you have that same power within you. Your divine light and love. And so this is about not saying, "Oh, why did I do that?" Because Nancy's here clearly living on the result of many conscious choices, but that it is not easy. That most of us just play the tape was played to us.
Yes.
Like it's like we just keep
Yes.
playing the same
Yes.
old record.
Yes.
And it isn't until we're hit upside the head,
Or we wake up.
right?
We wake up. And I woke up. And it was when I came here. I decided I'm leaving New York. Was my home, has
Right.
always been. And then I decided, you know what? I need a change. I need to get away from everyone. I was like the dog seed, always causing trouble, always trying to venture out. So finally I ventured.
Right.
So when I came here, I found my voice. I found me. And I was able to live the way I knew God wanted me to live. Not the way my mother wanted me to live, my father, my sisters, my aunts, anybody. I chose to live the way I wanted to be. I became the authentic me.
And how do it's like Caroline Myss always says, the crazier the idea, the better it is. She's one of my favorite teachers. She's a little harsh to some because she just
But she's right
she
on
just
point.
tells it right as it is.
Yes,
But
she
she
is.
says it. She goes, if you have an idea like leaving New York and leaving every single thing, if it's just crazy, if it's out of a box, it's probably the right thing to do.
It was for me.
Yeah.
It was for me. I tuned into the spiritual person I was as a child. That's what's happened. And I knew when I met Rabbi Gelberman that I had made it. I knew it because he turned around and he said, Oh, wow, I got a chill from that. He said, that's all he said to me. And I realized that when I speak, I know what I know. I got in trouble often for speaking, but I didn't know it was coming from the truth, the inner truth of myself.
Right.
But people would not accept it. They would get angry. I would get slapped. All kinds of things.
Oh, I do. I've heard you talk like that. I wanted to jump across the table like about 5 minutes ago because you were telling me I needed to go into my dark. I don't know what that's about, Nancy. What dark?
But you know what? When you allow the truth of yourself to speak, the truth comes out because the mind belongs to the physical. It's the physical mind. Your heart is where God lies. Your heart is where the truth comes from you. So your truth and your dark may not be my dark. So you may see it a different way than I'm seeing it. You understand? But each one of us is our own person and our own truth.
And very, very powerful.
Extremely.
I mean, I think that there's definitely the idea that I picked the topic this week that about choice is that there's somebody listening. I always believe that somebody's listening right now and has to make some decisions. You have to make some difficult, kooky decisions and you just really, like, it comes from a different place. It comes from a different part of you. Like, you're just sick and tired of complaining about the same old thing.
Because everything, just like they're talking about these killings, everybody's killing and the police are killing, that's a contract. Those are contracts between those two people. I don't care what they look like or who they are, but when they die, they're going back to bliss. But we're still here. So what's the lesson? So we can choose to hate.
Right.
Or we can choose to look at it and say, oh, wow, what did that person learn? Why did that person die? And what is it teaching me because I'm watching it?
It's funny. I was actually in a group with the clients, and that was one of their friends passed away from an overdose, and the whole discussion was, well, what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to sit in more self-pity? Are you going to learn?
Yes.
What did your friend do? What choice did your friend make?
Yes.
And we're going to go to break, and we're going to talk more about the power of choice on the Rabbi Jenny Show.
Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Are you or someone you love suffering from a substance abuse problem? Have you tried many different ways to heal and rebuild your life and are finally ready for a solution? At Bliss Recovery, there is a solution. At Bliss Recovery, one examines foundational issues and is guided by talented, qualified professionals to rebuild one's life. Learning coping skills in a supportive environment, clients of Bliss Recovery rebuild their life with increased self-esteem, awareness, and purpose. At Bliss Recovery, one is awakened to joy and connection to the world. Bliss Recovery, building lives, spirit, and soul. Find the solution to your substance abuse problem and contact Bliss Recovery now at 844-84-BLISS or go to blisstreatment.com. Bliss Recovery, building lives, spirit, and soul.
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from the Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny, and we are here with Reverend Nancy Kennedy. She is our bad mama jamma, and I am so excited to see her. She actually has something to read for you all about
let me read something for you, the Power of Choice. This is called the Book of the Law, and it's from a fraternal organization called the OTO. And here it says the Law of Thelema. This book lays down a simple code of conduct. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. This means that each of us stars is to move on our true orbit as marked out by the nature of our position, the law of our growth, the impulse of our past experiences. All events are equally lawful and every one necessary in the long run for all of us in theory. But in practice, only one act is lawful for each of us at any given moment. Therefore, duty consists in determining the experience, the right event, from one moment of consciousness to another. Each action or motion is an act of love. Each act or motion is an act of love.
And do as thou wilt, and that's true. You can either have before you a blessing or a curse. The choice is yours. I was being a little funny with my rapping, Nancy, and I just said you can say, well, you'll get to hear a little later. And I was actually thinking of a couple things when we talk about choice and that, choice actually happens on the tree of life in Jewish mysticism in the lower part of your, it's the action that actually happens, and they call it like victory and humility. And in between the idea that you have, the idea to make this change or make this choice, in between that are some really important parts of you, and they are the compassion part, the judgment part, and your heart, which will see beauty. And it's tapping into those forces of judging yourself kindly, showing yourself compassion, and reveling in your own beauty as divine love to make those right choices. And I was thinking, and I love this, do as thou wilt. Every move is an act of love. And that is a meditation for you listeners. Even if you choose just to write that down and say it to yourself over and over again, every action is an act of love. I think
every
that's
action or motion
because you
is an
can
act
either
of love.
cooperate with your highest good or commiserate and wish you would.
I like that.
Okay, because we're talking about being a victim. You know, like when we talk about those like talk about your own life. Like what has happened in your life that maybe somebody who doesn't have the ability to choose positively might have seen? Like, take something in your life that you chose to see in a positive way that's recently happened, and your power of choice transformed it.
Okay, my parents were very, very controlling, especially my father. And we were very close, but he was very controlling. He didn't trust people. You know, he didn't eat from people. He didn't people's plates, or, you know, he went home to eat. He always went home to eat. And this has been a problem for me in trusting people. And I had to consciously work on trusting my friends not to betray me. Right? Trusting that if someone tells me something, they're telling me this from love and not from hate. It's been an uphill battle, but it's been the best thing for me, because I believe that each one of us has a path. So what someone tells you is not good for me, because there's only one of me.
Right.
So I had to sit down and choose to say, I am going to look at this in a different way.
Right.
So if someone's telling me this, I don't trust this person, I don't trust this person, that's their reality, it's not mine. And until they show me that I can't trust them, I have to trust them. And that's something to deal with.
Well, that's that authenticity. That's I'm going to make my own conclusion. You know, like if you work in a negative atmosphere, you can actually consciously choose to be positive
and to make it better.
And say yes,
to make it better.
And choose. You know, this may be how you're seeing it. This may be how you're seeing it. But I choose to see this in a different way.
Let me tell you what happened. I worked on a job for 31 years, and it was hell to me. But my sister told me, she said, you know what, you wanted to be a foreign correspondent. Oh, you wanted to be a foreign correspondent. Isn't that what you're doing? I said, no. But every person who came to my window was from another country.
Wow.
Every person. And I had the ability to sit and talk to them, to counsel them. And I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I loved that job. But I would go home and say, I can't stand this job. I can't stand this. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, they're getting on my nerves. And it wasn't the people, it was the people I worked with. So one night I prayed and said, why am I in here and I can't leave? And I heard this voice say, you go in there and bless the people in there and bless yourself. And see the good in where you are. So I would walk in, there was this huge camera that they were watching everything we did, you understand, and I would get there every day and say and sing a hymn every morning and say, God bless all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? That's how I said it too. God bless you, and kept walking. My whole attitude toward them changed. Then I was able to leave.
Right. Well, and it's the, you know, as you were speaking, I was thinking of the concept of abundance. You know, and lack. And that we can actually, you know, mislabel what is being given to us. Like, you do not know why you are where you are. You have no idea what's going to come. It could be a person that walks in the very last day of where you are that takes you on that catapults you to a whole new adventure.
Everything.
But if you would have stormed out there, then you wouldn't have seen it. But it's trusting the idea that the world is happening for us and that we are abundant all the time, no matter what.
All the time.
No matter what.
I love love people. I don't care where you come from, what you look like. You can be. I love people, and I had that opportunity every day, and I didn't recognize it. I met people from every corner of this world.
So here is the tricky question. This is where I'm going, and this
Okay.
is where they're taking. Is that so? Why did you go there? Where did that old idea come from? That your job wasn't the job?
Because it wasn't fitting what I thought how I thought it was supposed to be.
Right, but who gave you what you thought it was supposed to be?
The people outside.
Right.
This is what you're supposed to get. This is what you're supposed to get. This is how they're supposed to treat you. But it wasn't my reality. It was everybody else's reality.
Right. And so if everybody else is telling you you're not there yet, then you're not there yet.
You're
But
not
guess
there,
what,
because
my friends? You are there.
Where you're supposed to be.
Right. Or you'd be somewhere else.
Yes.
Oh, we're getting deep here. We're getting heavy.
It was awesome.
Really want Nancy's has a couple things to tell you guys about hospice and
Yes,
some
yes,
events that she
yes.
wants to promote. So I want to
Yes.
make sure we have some time.
Okay, I am a hospice volunteer. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
amazing organization.
Our elders here in America need to be treated with wisdom because they are the wisdom. We're here to sit at their feet. They need to be honored, to be loved, and to be nurtured, just like a baby. Because the babies are coming from spirit, and the elders are going back to spirit. They're going back home. But they're in between that, all of that, they're here to give us the wisdom that they've learned.
So is there a way other people can become volunteers?
Yes, here is it's called Trust Bridge. And the telephone number is 561-227-5138.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay?
And
And ask for Joseph Hamilton.
say it one more time.
It's 561-227-5138 and ask for Joseph Hamilton.
And this may be your
And this-
choice, listeners, to maybe reach out.
Choice
Maybe you
to
want to
help.
help people, but you're working a different kind of job. Well, sometimes we have to volunteer. Sometimes we have to plant our seed in a new garden for it to grow.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we just do. And Nancy, reflexology, talk about that.
I am a reflexologist. I am a Reiki teacher master. I am a minister. And I love to do anything that has to do with the ministerial ceremonies. I love to do that. I love bereavement, memorials, because it's even though we lose people, it's a great thing that they're going back home. And we're here to celebrate their life, not their death, because they're
Right.
going back to life. I always believe that when people die, they're not dying, they're going back to life. We die when we come here.
Coming back. I don't know.
However,
I don't know.
you know what I'm saying, but
However you want to
hey,
see it. I don't want to. It's a Rabbi Jenny show. Whatever. Elevating in Jewish mysticism, they are elevating to a higher
Yes, they
level of
are.
energy.
Yes.
That is what they're doing. I don't know where it's going.
That's what they are.
Right.
They're going
Exactly.
back home, you know?
So
They're going back home.
So the phone
Okay,
number's
you
on the
can-
screen, but if you're
Yes.
listening, you can reach Reverend Nancy Kennedy at 561-543-0502.
And my website is Reflex Your Soul.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes, reflex it, honey.
Reflects
Mhm,
your soul. Maybe you do a little advertisement on the Rabbi Jenna show. Well,
Yes,
reflects your
it's
soul.
an awesome thing.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's get more into the power of choice. Let's talk
Okay.
about perspective. The perspective of being a victim versus being a hero. We can this idea of being the hero of your own life is a big passion of mine.
Of course.
because we learn skills. You cannot be a skilled person unless you learn those skills. And so sometimes learning to duck and dive will come in handy later.
Of course.
So
Of course.
you can't learn to duck and dive if nobody's swinging a bat at you. You
And
know what I'm saying?
you can't learn. You can't learn anything if you haven't experienced it. You can read about
Right.
it, but you can't tell anybody anything. And I really believe that everything we go through that is negative is to teach us how to circumvent.
So, Reverend Nancy Kennedy, you will hang out with me for our last segment for the Joy Jar and
yes,
the Jenny
I will.
Jam. You
Yes,
do a
I
little
will.
dance and
Uh-oh.
no. Oh no, I think we're getting a little frozen in the booth again. Oh my gosh, when you get some high level energy here on the Rabbi
Yeah, it
Jenny
goes
show,
off.
stuff just breaks on down. So I get to keep talking to you, which is really,
Wow,
really
it's
important.
really great.
I can tell you about this weekend. This weekend was the strangest weekend for a rabbi. It was a true rabbi weekend because Friday night, my friends, I'm cut off again. I'll tell you about it when we get back. It's Rabbi Jenny. I adore you.
Are you or someone you love suffering from a substance abuse problem? Have you tried many different ways to heal and rebuild your life and are finally ready for a solution? At Bliss Recovery, there is a solution. At Bliss Recovery, one examines foundational issues and is guided by talented, qualified professionals to rebuild one's life. Learning coping skills in a supportive environment, clients of Bliss Recovery rebuild their life with increased self-esteem, awareness, and purpose. At Bliss Recovery, one is awakened to joy and connection to the world. Bliss Recovery, building lives, spirit, and soul. Find the solution to your substance abuse problem and contact Bliss Recovery now at 844-84-BLISS or go to blisstreatment.com. Bliss Recovery, building lives, spirit, and soul.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from the Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life. The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Kaladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net. You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. We are in our last segment, and it's time for the Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge. We got a caller?
Ooh.
Joy, 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 joy. It's Adeline Gobergstein, and it's time for the Rabbi Jenny Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Hello, is someone on the phone?
Hi.
Hi, it's
Karen.
Who am I talking to? This is Rabbi Jenny.
Hi, my name is Karen Creasy, and they call me Lady Tycoon.
What do they call you?
Lady Tycoon.
Lady Tycoon. Oh, Lord, girl, I am loving that. So do you know about the Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge?
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
Okay.
Okay, I need 10 things, Lady Tycoon, that you are ridiculously joyful for. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, go.
I am grateful I'm happy about good health. I have a grateful heart. I'm thankful every day. My family is happy and happy. I have a debt-free home. My car is running great. I am happy when I have all kinds of kind people around me that smile and hug and just share a friendly word. Working with great people like Freddie and others. I'm just happy when my prayers are answered. I am happy to work from home and have a pajama commute. I am happy when I have good deals on shopping. And I love to have great service to clients and they refer my services.
Girl, that was pretty hot, man. I'm pretty impressed. I don't know. I'm tempted to ask you to do it again, but I don't want to waste too much time. But tell me about who you are, Lady Tycoon, and how people can get to you, find out what you're selling, and all that stuff.
Well, I have a website which is kcconnectsyou.com. That's KCCONNECTSU.com.
Okay.
I also have speakers to get additional platforms to share their message, and I have radio show hosts and others that may have they have events or places where speakers can speak to find content for their platform.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So is there a phone number people can reach you at?
Most definitely. My phone number is 407-308-5850.
Miss Lady
Again,
Tycoon.
that number is
What?
407-308-5850.
Okay, Miss Lady Tycoon, you're going to come down and see me on the Rabbi Jenny Show?
I would love to.
I would really like it because you are somebody I have got to meet. You are so happy. Thank you for calling in, and please keep tuning in.
I will definitely do that.
All right.
Awesome.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much. And you do the same.
Bye-bye.
Stay happy.
Okay, I will. Oh, that was awesome. So this is Rabbi Jenny, and we're here with Nancy, and we're talking about the power of choice. And I think we got to go. Well, we got some time to do the jam. Are we up for the jam now, or we can do the Jenny Jam? Okay. Jam. Jam. Oh, this one's called Bang Bang. Tribute to my kids out in Lake Worth. All right, we got to shake it, everybody. Ready? Bang, bang, up and down, right or left, lost or found. Circle up to touch the sky. Circle down and question why. Choice is yours, baby girl. Choice is yours, baby boy. Bang, bang, up and down, right or left, lost or found. I'm going to tell you a couple stories here, babies. Told them all the tallest tales, sold himself a bill of goods, sitting on the stool with ill, talking about he had it good, wasting every bit of time he was given on the earth, trading on the taste of wine, undermining all his worth. Like I said, bang, bang, up and down, right or left, lost or found, circle up and touch the sky, circle down and question why. Choice is yours, baby girl. Choice is yours, baby boy. Bang, bang, up and down, right or left, lost or found. I got another story. It's about a lady this time, my friends. Staying up late at night, selling everything she owned, swearing if they all did right, she wouldn't have to leave home. Baby's waiting for a meal, mommy waiting for a dime, doing all she can not to feel the ticking pain of endless time. Bang, bang, up and down, right or left, lost or found, circle up and touch the sky, circle down and question why. Hear me, choice is yours, baby girl. Choice is yours, baby boy. Bang, bang, up and down, right or left, lost or found. What, hey, hey. Oh, I think that's maybe my favorite jam, y'all. I hope you're like humming that in your car.
Nice.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Bang, bang, up and down. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. It's Rabbi Jenny. This is the last couple minutes that I have with you. And I'm going to talk to you very, very personally, my listeners, because I adore you. And this is really, really, really important. You have to learn to choose your life. You have to learn to actively choose how you see the things that are coming into your life. This weekend, I was about to tell you about it last break, and this weekend was an amazing rabbi weekend. I had 2 baby namings on Friday night that I got to do, and then I had a beautiful wedding that I officiated on Saturday night, and then on Sunday morning was my father's tombstone unveiling, a year after his passing. And talk about the circle of life, which was our topic last week. But it was an amazing weekend of choice for me because I could choose to look at every single one of those events in any way that I want. I mean, it could just be work doing baby namings, or it could be an opportunity to serve. It could be an opportunity to actually tap into the joy of other people's lives. Maybe you're doing something that you have to choose to look at it just a little bit differently. Our choices affect our perspective. They affect our words. They affect our actions. Just today, I was walking out and I said something to a friend and I just flew out of my mouth, like things just do fly out of my mouth sometimes. Wasn't the nicest thing to say, but I had a choice to make. I could just let it sit out there in the air, or I could choose to apologize. I could choose to fix that, because the unbelievable thing about choosing is it sets the dial, like it sets the thing. When you make a choice, it sort of sends the message for the next choice to come. It's like if you open a door and walk through, you find the next door, but you'll never find that second door if you don't choose to walk through the first door. And this is such an important power for me, because I can't even tell you how many times in my life I actually did not choose consciously. I made choices about what other people would think. I mean, would they be upset? Would they be mad? Would I get their approval? I mean, I can't, and I've met so many of my clients, so many of my patients who are now suffering with addiction. So much of it is that they are just used to victimizing themselves, making choices to major in college about things they don't even like, because that's the thing that dad majored in, and sometimes it's just simply because you haven't asked dad what he thinks. Right. It's like you've just made the assumption that that's based, that that's what dad wants based on how he feels about himself. But I guarantee you, if you ask people more, and that's another choice we can make, folks, maybe that's the last choice that we can point out today, is that we can choose to ask more questions. We can choose to not draw conclusions so quickly about what other people think and what other people want, because when we do that, we limit things. And remember what I said we can cooperate with the highest good, or we can commiserate and wish we would. We have to choose possibility. We have to not choose limitation. We have to try to see the things that join us together, as opposed to seeing the things that separate us, because we are one, no matter how you choose to see it. There's no denying that we all watch the sun set. I'm getting signaled. And we all watch the sun rise if we choose to. We're all part of this universe. And when you smile at somebody, it affects them. When you smile, it affects you. It changes. If you choose to smile, listen, are you in your car right now? Are you watching me on the internet? You would better be smiling, listeners, because let me just tell you, this is my last few seconds with you, and you better be raising those cheeks and squeezing those other cheeks and smiling real big and raising your serotonin, because it takes more work actually to frown, and guess what? You are choosing to do it. This is Jenny, Rabbi Jenny, here every Wednesday. Please join me and contact me at rabbijenny.tv. I will miss you. Great guest next week, Marty Brennan. We're going to be talking about anger. Bye-bye.
You have been listening and lighting up your life with Rabbi Jenny. Join us next week for another session of love, light, and joy as Rabbi Jenny takes life to the next level. Are you ready? Rabbi Jenny says the time is now.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly